Our next example should have a problem that jumps out right away. And I in the denominator, remember what I is? Square root of -1. Just like when we can't have a radical in the bottom, I can't have an I in the bottom for the same purpose. What I did last time is when it's that monomial, multiply it by itself. But it's not the 5 that's the problem. I don't want to multiply times 5i. Just multiply times the I. I is the only thing that's the problem. What should you do the bottom, do the top? Watch what happens if our denominator. 5i times I is 5i squared. Distribute the numerator. 7 times I is 7i, plus 4i times I is 4i squared. Let's look at what's going on. I squared, -1, meaning I have a -5 in the denominator, meaning 7i, I squared, change the sign because it's a -1, minus 4. Now, if I want to go full circle with this, what I want to say is when I have a binomial, divide both of them. This is the same as saying a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 7 over 5i. Positive times a positive is, a negative times a negative is a positive 4/5. Notice the form a plus bi. Even though it's out of order, I guess bi plus a, if you want to call that backwards order. It doesn't matter what order you put it in because you can change it. As long as you keep the signs correspondingly, you're good. There's the division of complex numbers. As another example of division, what if my denominator is a binomial, has the whole a plus bi form? Well, what I would do is just like we did with the radicals before, this is when I would need a conjugate. 1 plus 3i. And let's show what happens to the denominator. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3i is 3i. Negative 3i times 1 is negative 3i. Negative 3i times 3i is negative 9i squared. Well, look at what happens. 3i minus 3i cancels. I squared is -1. Negative times a negative. That gives me a positive. Changes the sign. 9. 1 plus 9. A denominator of 10. What's nice? The I is gone. That's what conjugates will do. When I have the two terms, when I have the conjugate, when I have the one term, is when I just multiply by I. But what I do to the bottom, got to do to the top. The top won't be as friendly, but won't be too bad either. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 times 3i is -6i. 9i times 1 is 9i. 9i times 3i is 27i squared. And what's going to happen is, combine my two like terms, ends up being a 3i, where I have an I squared. Remember, that's -1. It's going to change the sign, giving me a -27. But with that -2, gives me a -29. Just like last time, divide each of those by the 10. And what I can finish this as is 3/10 I minus 29 over 10. Again, in the form a plus bi. And all of our answers will be, these are closed over multiplication, closed over division. Plan on every answer for a lot of this homework, your answers being in the form a plus bi.